What is the meaning of the verb stay out of?
When you stay out of a place, you do not go inside it. Your father's busy cooking dinner, so stay out of the kitchen.
What is the meaning of the verb let out?
When you make an item of clothing bigger by changing the seams, you let it out. The tailor let her old dress out so that she could wear it again.
What is the meaning of the verb get out of?
When you get out of something or get out of doing something you must do but do not want to do. You find a way to avoid it. Sam got out of gym class by pretending to be sick.
What is the meaning of the verb sneak inland to?
When you enter a place without anyone seeing or hearing you, you sneak in or sneak into the place. When I was a kid I used to sneak into the movie theater through the emergency exit.
What is the meaning of the verb blow up?
When you make a picture or photograph larger, you blow it up. When you blow this photo of the car up, you can make out the license plate number.
What is the meaning of the verb pile up?
When things increase in number and start to form a pile, they pile up. When people add things to a pile, they pile them up. Leaves up in the driveway and burn them.
What is the meaning of the verb make out, to?
When you write the necessary information on the front of a check, you make the check out. When you write the name of a person, company, or other organization on the check. You make the check out to that person, company, or organization. How should I make this check out?
What is the meaning of the verb go by?
When a period of time goes by, it passes. I can't believe that 30 years have gone by since I got out of high school.
What is the meaning of the verb get by?
When something, such as a mistake or a problem, gets by you, you do not notice it. I've got a great editor, no mistakes get by her.
What is the meaning of the verb take over, from /is?
When people are elected, appointed, or hired to take control of a country. State, city, business, school, building, and so on, and to replace the people in control. They take over as something, or take over from someone. Carlos Ortega will be taking over as sales manager next year.
What is the meaning of the verb make up?
When you make up your mind about something. Or make up your mind about doing something, you decide which choice to make or which action to take. I like both the blue dress and the red dress. I can't make up my mind.
What is the meaning of the verb? Look it.
When you focus your eyes on people or things, you look at them. Look at me when I talk to you.
What is the meaning of the verb go down, to?
When the sun goes below the horizon, it goes down. After the sun goes down, it'll get a little cooler.
What is the meaning of the verb beat up informal?
When you beat people up, you hit them or kick them repeatedly. Timmy got beaten up at school today.
What is the meaning of the verb go on?
When you say go on to people, you are encouraging them to do something. Yes, caviar is fish eggs, but it's good go on, try it. Oh, go on don't be afraid.
What is the meaning of the verb work out?
When you exercise in order to improve your health or physical appearance, you work out. I need to start working out again.
What is the meaning of the verb break up?
When a gathering of people separates, it breaks up. When the police tell people who are gathered together in a crowd to separate and leave the area. The police break the gathering up. The demonstration was broken up by riot police.
What is the meaning of the verb break up?
When you break up a fight, you stop the fight. Two students were fighting, and the teacher broke them up.
What is the meaning of the verb pay back?
When you pay people back, you give them money that you borrowed from them. Mark has never been paid back for all his sister's medical bills.
What is the meaning of the verb take off?
When you reduce the price of something that is for sale by a certain amount. You take that amount off the price. The sign in the store window said, "Every Monday take 10% off all marked prices."
What is the meaning of the verb grow up?
When you tell people to grow up, you are saying that their behavior is childish and immature. When he put his fist through the wall, I said, "Oh, grow up."
What is the meaning of the verb take off?
When a business or other organized activity becomes very successful, it takes off. The new restaurant's business is taking off because it got a good review in the newspaper.
What is the meaning of the verb come about?
When something comes about, it happens, usually as a result of a series of events and actions. He was the richest man in town, and now he's bankrupt. How did that come about?
What is the meaning of the verb take back, from?
When you take something back or take something back from someone else. You accept it from the person you gave, sold, or lent it to. The lady I bought this Persian rug from said she would be happy to take it back from me if I changed my mind.
What is the meaning of the verb come up with?
When you think of an idea, plan, or solution, you come up with it. It took me all night, but I came up with the answer.
What is the meaning of the verb ask for?
When you say that people are asking for something or asking for it. You mean that they are doing or saying something that is likely to result in punishment or a negative consequence. I'm warning you, if you keep doing that, you're asking for trouble.
What is the meaning of the verb crack down, on?
When you crack down or crack down on someone or something. You enforce rules and laws more than you enforced them before, or you make new, stronger rules and laws. The chief of police said he was going to crack down on car theft.
What is the meaning of the verb go over?
When you carefully read or review important written material, you go over it. Here's a magazine article I just finished writing. Go over it and tell me what you think.
What is the meaning of the verb think ahead?
When you think ahead, you plan for a future situation or activity so that you will not have a problem. When we're out camping, there won't be any stores around if you forget something, so think ahead.
What is the meaning of the verb check out?
When you check people out, you investigate them in order to learn more about them. If you say that people check out, you mean that the information they have given you about themselves. Such as their education and work experience, has been investigated and found to be accurate. Before you give that guy money to invest, you should check him out.
What is the meaning of the verb try on?
When you try on an item of clothing before deciding whether you will buy it or borrow. It from someone in order to see if it fits or to see if you like it, you try it on. Would you like to borrow this dress for the dance tonight? Here, try it on.
What is the meaning of the verb think about?
When you think about something or think about doing something, you consider it before making a decision. I'm thinking about quitting my job.
What is the meaning of the verb go with?
When one thing is usually or always found with another, they go with each other. A lot of responsibility goes with being a doctor.
What is the meaning of the verb get inland to?
When you get in trouble or get into a difficult situation or a mess, a. Mess is a confused or difficult situation, you become involved in it. When you get people in trouble or get them into a difficult situation or a mess. You cause them to become involved in it. Susie got in a lot of trouble at school today.
What is the meaning of the verb make up, of, often passive?
When people or things make up a larger thing, they together form that larger thing. When a larger thing is made up of people or things, they together form that larger thing. Children under 15 make up 50% of the population.
What is the meaning of the verb plan for?
When you make preparations for something in the future, you plan for it. The festival was a disaster because they didn't plan for such a huge crowd.
What is the meaning of the verb figure on?
When you figure on something, you expect it or plan for it. I didn't figure on such cold weather. I wish I'd brought a coat.
What is the meaning of the verb move out, of?
When you move out or move out of a place. You take your furniture and other personal possessions out of a place where you lived. Move inland to is the opposite of move out. Mr. and Mrs. Baker moved out of their big house and into a smaller place after their children grew up.
What is the meaning of the verb wear off?
When an emotional feeling gradually goes away, it wears off. When I met Jim, I fell in love immediately, but that wore off quickly as I got to know him better.
What is the meaning of the verb put up to?
When you persuade or pressure people to do something that is illegal. Dangerous, foolish, or unwise, you put them up to it. I didn't think it was a good idea to demand a raise, but my wife put me up to it.
What is the meaning of the verb come out?
When clouds move and the sun becomes visible, it comes out. The rain stopped, the sun came out, and there was a beautiful rainbow.
What is the meaning of the verb wash up?
When something in a lake, a river, or the sea washes up. It is carried by the water to the land and left there. Pieces of the sunken boat continued to wash up for weeks.
What is the meaning of the verb drop off?
When a business's sales, the occurrence of some event. Or the interest some people have in something declines, it drops off. Attendance at baseball games has been dropping off in the last few years.
What is the meaning of the verb narrow down?
When you narrow down things or people in a list or group. You remove some of them so that the number of things or people is reduced. The detective narrowed the suspects down to the butler, the cook, and the maid.
What is the meaning of the verb put up?
When you build or install something, such as a building, shelf, fence, or wall, you put it up. I talked to a carpenter about putting up some shelves in the family room.
What is the meaning of the verb move out, of?
When you move people out or move them out of a place. You take their furniture and other personal possessions out of a place where they lived. When you move things out or move them out of a place, you take them out. Move inland to is the opposite of move out. The company had a sale to try to move some merchandise out of the warehouse.
What is the meaning of the verb take in?
When you take in a play, movie, museum, or other attraction, you go to it or see it. We stopped in Charleston and took in the sights.
What is the meaning of the verb look up to?
When you look up to people, you admire and respect them. You should look up to people who have overcome difficulties to become successful.
What is the meaning of the verb wipe out?
When you are trying to kill people, weeds, insects, and so on, and you kill all of them, you wipe them out. An entire regiment was wiped out in the battle.
What is the meaning of the verb turn out usually followed by to be plus an adjective? An infinitive verb plus a noun, or a complete sentence.
When things or people turn out to be a certain way, it is discovered or considered that they are that way. When things or people turn out to be something, it is discovered or considered that they are that thing. When you say that it turns out, that, or turned out, that, and then make a statement of fact. You mean that this information, which is contrary to what you believed or expected, was discovered to be true. Elle didn't think I would like my brother's new wife, but she turned out to be very nice.
What is the meaning of the verb come back?
When people, organizations, companies, or athletes overcome difficulties and become successful again, they come back. Senator Doolittle lost in 1988, but he came back to win in 1994.
What is the meaning of the verb stand for?
When abbreviations, acronyms, or symbols represent longer words or groups of words, they stand for them. The DC in Washington, D.C., stands for District of Columbia.
What is the meaning of the verb give up?
When you stop doing something you do regularly, such as a sport or a job, you give it up. My father didn't give skydiving up until he was 82.
What is the meaning of the verb lay down, on?
When you lay something down, you put it on a horizontal surface. Put down is similar to lay down. The police order Jake to lay down his gun and surrender.
What is the meaning of the verb ring up?
When you want to buy something in a store. A cashier uses a cash register to ring up what you want to buy in order to determine how much money you must pay. I couldn't believe it when the clerk finished ringing it all up. $946.
What is the meaning of the verb do over?
When you do something over, you do it again in order to improve it or to correct mistakes. I got a bad grade on my paper, but the teacher said I could do it over.
What is the meaning of the verb keep from?
When you keep from doing something, you do not do it even though it is hard not to. The movie was so sad that I couldn't keep from crying.
What is the meaning of the verb dry up?
When the amount or supply of something gets smaller and then disappears completely, it dries up. The small grocery store's business dried up after a huge supermarket opened across the street.
What is the meaning of the verb stick to?
When you stick to a certain belief, claim, policy, habit, plan. Type of work, and so on, you continue as before, without change. Stick with is similar to stick to. Jake claimed he was innocent of Hank's murder. He stuck to his alibi that he had been at the racetrack when the murder occurred.
What is the meaning of the verb come off?
When something comes off, it becomes detached from what it was attached or fastened to. That paint won't come off your hands unless you use turpentine.
What is the meaning of the verb burn up?
When something is completely destroyed by heat or fire, it burns up. The rocket's fuel will burn up after only 40 seconds.
What is the meaning of the verb get along with?
When you get along with people, you have peaceful, harmonious relations with them. Get on is similar to get along. Jim and his cousin aren't good friends, but they get along.
What is the meaning of the verb turn over to?
When you give something to someone because that person demands or requires it, or because you are not its rightful owner, you turn it over or turn it over to that person. Hand over is similar to turn over. After the thieves are captured, the stolen items will be turned over to the rightful owners.
What is the meaning of the verb kick back informal?
When you kick back, you relax. It's been a tough week. Tonight I'm going to buy a case of beer and kick back.
What is the meaning of the verb flip out in formal?
When you flip out, you become very upset or very angry. Bob flipped out when the city doubled his property taxes.
What is the meaning of the verb pick up?
When the speed, level, or condition of something increases or improves, it picks up. Business is slow this time of year, but it should pick up in December.
What is the meaning of the verb look over usually separated?
When you look something over, you look at it or read it carefully and thoroughly. Here's the first chapter of my new book, look it over and tell me what you think.
What is the meaning of the verb trade in?
When you give an old car or other piece of expensive equipment to someone, you are buying a new car or piece of equipment from in order to get a lower price, you trade the old car or piece of equipment in. We'll get a good price on our new photocopier if we trade in our old one.
What is the meaning of the verb knock off?
When you knock something off, you either accidentally or deliberately use. Force to make it fall from a place above the ground to the ground below. The cat knocked the clock off the shelf.
What is the meaning of the verb calm down?
When a confused or violent situation becomes less confused or violent, it calms down. When you calm a confused or violent situation down, you make it less confused or violent and more calm. Settle down is similar to calm down. A conference between the two sides was organized to try to calm the situation down.
What is the meaning of the verb take off?
When an airplane leaves the ground and flies up into the air, it takes off. Put on your seat belt, we're taking off now.
What is the meaning of the verb give out, on?
When a mechanical or electrical device stops working, it gives out or gives out on you. When a supply of something is completely used, it gives out or gives out on you. I bought a Chevrolet in 1964 and drove it more than 300,000 miles before it finally gave out on me.
What is the meaning of the verb pick up?
When you pick something up, you lift it with your hand. All this trash has to be picked up.
What is the meaning of the verb hang up, on?
When you stop talking on the telephone and put down the receiver, you hang up the telephone. When he called me a moron, I got so mad I hung up on him.
What is the meaning of the verb print out?
When you make a computer write something on paper, you print it out. I can't print this out, my printer is broken.
What is the meaning of the verb close off?
When you close off an area / you prohibit people from entering it, or passing through it by locking the door or blocking the entrance. The house was so expensive to heat that the owners closed several rooms off.
What is the meaning of the verb fix up, with informal?
When you fix people up or fix them up with someone. You arrange a date for them with a member of the opposite sex. Linda and Tom are perfect for each other. I'm going to fix them up.
What is the meaning of the verb run into?
When you are driving and hit another vehicle or something near the road. Such as a tree or a telephone pole, you run into it. I was run into by a drunk driver.
What is the meaning of the verb come out?
When clouds move and the sun becomes visible, it comes out. Wait till the sun comes out, you'll get a better picture.
What is the meaning of the verb come through?
When someone's feelings, attitudes, or opinions can be perceived by someone else, they come through. The author's hatred of the dictatorship came through in the novel.
What is the meaning of the verb turn down?
When you deny a request, you turn down the request or turn down the person who has made the request. Getting turned down every time I apply for a job is getting me down.
What is the meaning of the verb hang on informal?
When you hang on, you wait for a short time. Hold on is the same as hang on. Hang on for a minute, I'll be right back.
What is the meaning of the verb leave behind?
When you leave someone or something behind, you go to a different place. The enemy soldiers retreated and left behind a city in ruins.
What is the meaning of the verb pull over?
When you are driving and a police officer signals you to move your vehicle to the side of the road. Reduce your speed, and stop, the police officer pulls you over or pulls the vehicle over. When the police officer saw the driver go through a red light, he pulled the car right over.
What is the meaning of the verb fall out, with over?
When you fall out with people, you become upset or angry with them. When two people fall out over something. They become upset or angry with each other because of a disagreement about that thing. Alfonso fell out with his sister when he criticized her husband.
What is the meaning of the verb fill out?
When you fill out a form, you put information in the correct spaces. Fill in is the same as fill out. The personnel director asks Sophia to fill out an application.
What is the meaning of the verb hang around informal?
When people stay in a place instead of leaving, they hang around. Do you have to go or can you hang around for a while?
What is the meaning of the verb wipe out?
When you remove dirt or liquid from the inside of a container with a cloth. Sponge, or paper towel, you wipe it out. I wiped out the inside of the glasses so they wouldn't dry with spots.
What is the meaning of the verb call in?
When you call your place of employment to say you cannot work that day because you are sick. You call in or call in sick. Calling in sick too often is a good way to get fired.
What is the meaning of the verb wipe up?
When you completely remove a liquid from a surface by moving a towel. Or sponge across it with a sweeping motion, you wipe the liquid up. Wipe up is similar to wipe off, however, you wipe up a liquid. But you wipe off the surface the liquid is on. Susie spilled her milk, and her mother told her to wipe it all up.
What is the meaning of the verb care for?
When you care for children or people who are old or sick. You provide them with the food or medicine they need, or you do things to help them. When you care for machines or buildings, you keep them in good condition. John has been caring for his 83-year-old mother since her stroke.
What is the meaning of the verb rule out?
When you rule out people or things, you eliminate them from a list. When you rule out doing something, you decide that it is something you will not do because you do not want to, because it is impossible, and so on. The detective interviewed all the suspects and ruled everyone out except the victim's ex-wife.
What is the meaning of the verb fill out?
When slender people gain weight, they fill out. Nicole started to fill out after she started working at the candy shop.
What is the meaning of the verb keep to?
When you keep something to a certain cost, quantity, or amount. You do not let the cost, quantity, or amount go higher than that level. The room doesn't hold a great many people, so we have to keep the number of guests to 200.
What is the meaning of the verb pull out, of?
When you pull out or pull out of an agreement or arrangement. You leave it because you decide that you do not want to participate any longer. I wish I hadn't pulled out of that business deal. Now everyone who stayed in is making a lot of money.
What is the meaning of the verb turn on, to, informal?
When you turn people onto something. You tell them about something you think they will like or something that will help them. Maria turned me on to a great Colombian restaurant.
What is the meaning of the verb leave behind?
When you move, learn, or work faster than others in your group, you leave them behind. If you don't start working harder, you're going to be left behind.
What is the meaning of the verb look up?
When you get information from a reference book. Such as a word from a dictionary or a telephone number from a telephone book, you look the word or number up. I looked up his number, but it's not in the phone book.
What is the meaning of the verb lead up to?
When you lead up to something when you are speaking or writing. You gradually move toward an important point by saying or writing information that will support that point. In his speech, the president didn't immediately announce that he would run for a second term. He led up to it by recalling the accomplishments of his first term.
What is the meaning of the verb put in?
When you construct or install something in a building, you put it in. We're having new carpeting put in next week.
What is the meaning of the verb goon?
When people go on, they continue doing something. Sometimes, on is repeated for emphasis. I asked her to be quiet, but she went right on singing.
What is the meaning of the verb throw out, of?
When you throw people out or throw people out of a group, place, building, or room, you order them to leave. Kick out is similar to throw out. Frank started a fight and got thrown out of the bar.
What is the meaning of the verb put off?
When people put you off, they do or say something that offends you. Everyone was put off by his racist jokes.
What is the meaning of the verb run into?
When you meet people unexpectedly or unintentionally, you run into them. Bump into is the same as run into. We ran into Karen and her new boyfriend at the supermarket yesterday.
What is the meaning of the verb go out?
When an electrical light goes out, it stops producing light because it is no longer receiving power. When the old tree fell on the power lines, every light in town went out.
What is the meaning of the verb go after?
When you go after something, you try to obtain it even though it may be difficult to do. Todd trained for a year before going after the record in the 100-yard dash.
What is the meaning of the verb hand over?
When you give someone responsibility for an important project, duty, or problem. You hand that project, duty, or problem over or hand it over to someone. Mr. Wilson retired and handed control of the company over to his son.
What is the meaning of the verb come apart?
When something comes apart, the parts separate because it is old or in bad. Condition or because the parts were not strongly connected to each other. Be careful with this old book. It's coming apart.
What is the meaning of the verb get on?
When you enter a bus, train, airplane, ship, and so on, you get on it. The bus stopped so that I could get on.
What is the meaning of the verb stick to?
When one thing sticks to another, it remains attached to it. I used the wrong glue, and the tiles didn't stick to the floor.
What is the meaning of the verb keep from?
When you keep from doing something, you do not do it even though it is hard not to. I was so angry that I don't know how I kept from punching that guy in the nose.
What is the meaning of the verb run down, to?
When you move quickly to a lower level or place, you run down or run down to that place. I saw someone trying to steal my car, and I ran down to the street to try to stop him.
What is the meaning of the verb put together?
When you assemble the parts of something, you put it together. Put together is the opposite of take apart. Sally got a bicycle for her birthday, and her father put it together after dinner.
What is the meaning of the verb blow up?
When something blows up or when someone blows something up, it explodes. Seven people were killed when the building blew up.
What is the meaning of the verb get ahead?
When you get ahead, you become more successful and make progress in your job or your life. With your pessimistic attitude, you'll never get ahead.
What is the meaning of the verb get inland to?
When you get something in or get something into a place, building, room, container. Enclosure, and so on, you get the object inside even though it is difficult. The shoes are too small, I can't get my feet in.